Thank you for watching Savage Gentleman Show. That's a little big.
It might dominate the picture more than you.
Nothing can dominate the picture more than me.
Keep talking. So, Elie Wise, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having
the
me.
Savage Gentleman Show. I just read recently that you won the King of Sparta tournament.
Obviously.
What was that experience like?
The King of Sparta tournament was, it was a lot. 3 fights in one night is too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've competed multiple times in one night, a few times for kickboxing. I don't prefer it. I prefer fighting one time in one night. So that would probably be my last tournament style competition that I do, unless the paycheck's right. I've been intending on just doing MMA for the past few years, but they put that $3,000 check at the end of that, and you know.
Yeah, and you got it.
I gotta come for that. Yeah.
Currently undefeated in MMA.
Yes.
And
I like that.
2 of your wins, you're 2-0, and both wins by knockout.
Yeah, first round knockouts.
It's impressive. And 14-3 in Muay Thai.
Yes.
Wow. How old were you when you first started training Muay Thai, and what got you into fighting?
So I first walked into a MMA gym when I was 17 years old. I walked into Shoney Carter's gym. You know who that is?
No.
Shoney Carter was one of the first UFC fighters and a certified pimp and street fighter from Chicago. And yeah, but I wasn't really training. He was more just talking about like how cool like his fights were and stuff like that. But it planted the seed in my head. And then when I was 19 years old, I dropped out of college, and that's when I decided really that I would just be kickboxing every single day of my life, pretty much, from then on.
And what was your breakthrough moment when you're at the gym, as hundreds of other people do? What made you different from the other people training, and why did you keep doing it when other people went on to have, as we'll say, regular jobs?
Yeah, well, I was obsessed since I started. Yeah, the first day when I was 19, the first day that I walked into, let me go back. When I was 17, so I was a musician my whole life. I was obsessed with music.
What did you play?
I originally started playing cello when I was 5 years old.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, I played classical music from the time I was like 5 or 6 years old until I was 16 probably.
And this is something your parents encouraged you to do?
Yeah, and I loved it as well. So I played cello probably 2 hours a day, pretty much every day for that 10 years, whatever. I used to do competitions. I had a great teacher who I think really taught me how to practice. And then when I was in high school, I started playing guitar, and I became obsessed with guitar after that. So for all of high school, any free time I had, I was playing guitar. I played a lot of styles of guitar. And then I actually went to college to study guitar at Berklee College of Music for a year, and I was fucking miserable. I hated it. I was miserable throughout high school playing it, and I was miserable in college playing guitar. And when I dropped out of school after my first year, I did 2 semesters, and I went back home, and I had no idea what I was doing with my life. I felt very lost and sad. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to Joe Rogan podcast, and he said to do jiu-jitsu. So I went and did jiu-jitsu for a month, and then I found a kickboxing place, or Chicago Muay Thai, which was like a block away from my house. And the first time I went to Chicago Muay Thai, I hit the bag for probably 5 hours. And I did that every day. I had my first fight after 6 weeks. If you asked me like 2 months into that, what I was like doing with my life, I would tell you I'm gonna like just be all in on Muay Thai from then on. And then I moved, after like a year at Chicago Muay Thai, I moved to Colorado. I started training with Dwayne Ludwig for about 3 years. Mm-hmm. I partially moved here to train with Dwayne Ludwig. He was one of my favorite kickboxers. And he was accessible to somebody who was like lower level. and yeah, I've been
So
on
would
it
you
since
say
then.
you're the most dangerous cello player in the world?
There's a few contenders. Maybe Yo-Yo Ma.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm the most dangerous cello
Like
player.
it.
Yeah. I'm also the best chess player in the UFC, if I was being in the UFC.
Okay.
Anybody who wants to challenge me in chess.
There you go. Well, the call's been made. I got a question the other day on Instagram from one of our few female fans, and she wanted to know,
Gross.
as someone who doesn't train in a gym every day, walk me through what that experience is like of walking in the door and training. It sounds so simple when we say, oh, we're going training. Walk me through what that actually means. You're going into the gym, what happens?
Right. Well, I don't know.
Like
I
a
go
day
on
in the life.
a day in the life of walking in the gym.
Hit me.
All right, I walk into the gym. I try to first walk into the gym with intention. And my entire day is designed for each training session, pretty much. So I'm always thinking about how I'm going to do in the gym. So that's first. So I walk in with my intentions already set. I'm serious. I take this very seriously. And so I walk in with that. I try not to have too much like conversations going as soon as I walk in. I'll say hi to people, but I'm there to do business. So I get there usually, depending on how I'm feeling, what my schedule is like. I'll get there at least 10 minutes early, sometimes like 40 minutes early though. And I'll do my basic warm-up. I'll just walk onto the mat. I always bow onto the mat. I have respect for the mat space itself, so I bow onto the mat. I'll do my warm-up, and then class begins, whether it be striking or jiu-jitsu or MMA class. Yeah, and then usually after class, the tension's kind of been broken, and we're just hanging out for a good, I definitely linger. I'll hang out for 30 minutes, sometimes like an hour.
You like
and
the
a half.
gym hang?
Yeah, I do. I don't really hang out with too many people outside of the gym, so that's my socialization.
And then in the afternoon?
In the afternoon, I typically go back to the gym. Yeah, so I either do. Yeah, so it depends. I train minimum 2 times a day. I try to have 2 skill-based sessions a day is what my goal is, and then I do strength and conditioning on top of that. So if I have strength and conditioning as well that day, then I'll have 3 sessions a day.
Speaking of skills, what are the 3 most important skills to succeed in MMA?
3 most important skills.
Mm-hmm.
Well, striking and grappling are kind of the most basic, like that's the totality of the sport in 2 disciplines. I kind of view them all like the same thing though. Like I don't see a point in really separating things between kickboxing and boxing. And then skills, I guess like discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline's a skill.
Consistency?
Yeah, consistency and discipline. I think that's a skill that you need to develop. So if you can, I kind of try to approach every aspect of fighting with like a growth mindset, and I try to develop discipline around each of those things. So I do stuff that I don't want to do to develop like mental toughness, to develop like competitiveness, and to develop my skills. It's all got to be discipline. It can't just be like what I feel like doing that day. So I have. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very
Tell me about your lucky headgear.
My lucky headgear. I think I sold my headgear to somebody like a week ago, and I said that was my lucky headgear. It's not my lucky headgear. It's just my headgear that I used to compete in. I hated competing in that headgear. I won some fights and I lost some fights with that headgear. I just told her that I was lucky so that she would hopefully do well on that fight.
What did you learn from sparring with TJ Dillashaw?
TJ Dillashaw. He was just really good. I looked up to him a lot when I was training with Dwayne. When he would come into town before his fights, I would typically be his like main training partner. Let's see, what did I learn? He has great technique. I also have great technique. I had great technique before I started training with him. But what he does really well is he like when he like walks into the gym and when he's training, he really elevates the entire level of the entire gym. Everybody's looking at him. Everyone's like trying to like do exceptional when he's around and training. And yeah, he really brings the level up of the entire gym, which I find is that's like a
goal of yours.
Yeah, and that's a trait of like greatness when you can do that, when you can like really push everybody else around you just by being there. He didn't have to say anything. He tried to show up.
Does anyone else in your family compete, and what do your parents think about your career choice?
Nobody else in my family competes. My mom used to run like marathons, but that's the extent of athletics in my family. And they're pretty much they're all for it. Like if you ask them, yeah, they're all for it. Like obviously, like my mom struggles to like watch my fights, and it makes her anxious. Yeah. My dad's all for it. My dad, yeah, both my parents really support it. They wanted me to do kind of whatever I wanted to do. They wanted me to go to college, but it was clear like when I was in college that I had other interests, and they support me all the time. So,
what is a dream fight of yours?
I got a lot.
Yeah, let's hear like 2 or 3 of them.
Dream fight.
Someone that you watched growing up that you're like, I would love to fight that guy.
That's a tough question. I want to fight all of the top guys. O'Malley, I think, is like he's an unbelievable striker.
Mm-hmm.
That would be such a fun fight. I think I would be like the underdog.
O'Malley?
Yeah, Sugar Sean O'Malley. He's one of my favorite strikers to watch, and I think it would be. I always like to think like against those like good guys, like how incredible it would be to head kick knockout Sean O'Malley in the first round, something like that. Like or get my ass beat for 2 rounds and then knock him out or dominate him or something like that. So Sean O'Malley, Jose Aldo's now at 35. That would be the coolest fight ever. Yeah, that would be such a sick fight.
What is it?
I want to fight Rotang.
Oh, Rotang.
Yeah, I think I would beat Rotang.
One.
Yeah, I want to fight Rotang.
Oh, well, he's a stand-up guy. You'd have fun with him.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to land a KO head kick?
I've never actually KO'd somebody clean with a head kick.
What about this last Sparta event?
I dropped the individual with a head kick.
Knocked out to me.
No, he popped right back up. That was a tough kid. Yeah, I've never landed the clean head kick like that. But I can tell you what it feels like to head kick somebody. Like how you would probably imagine it feels. There's nothing like special about landing like a perfect punch or something. It doesn't feel any different or unexpected to me when I land that.
Awesome.
It feels like I'm hitting a pad.
How do you size up a fighter during the pre-fight face-off? And what are the signs of weakness you're looking for when you look people in the eye?
Well, I try to read too much into the face-off. That is like a skill. You can like manipulate people, I guess, with face-off. But I try to do too much. I believe that the best way to walk into the cage is unemotional, calm, focused, and energetic. That's what I'm looking to do. And I wouldn't want to be thrown off by anything in the face-off. What I do look at my opponent's body in the face-off. I'm looking at like their legs and like their body and their arms, their attributes, and just kind of making reads like where they might be weak or if they're strong. Like if he has really strong legs, I might not want to attack the legs, or if he has really skinny legs, yeah, I go by feeling, so I try to see what's going on.
And can you tell by looking at them maybe how their weight cut went, or if they are dehydrated or anything like that?
Yes and no. I don't care about their weight cut, honestly. Like nothing that can happen in the face-off is going to affect the way I enter the ring.
Yeah.
I know how I perform best. I know like what mindset I need to be to show up, and I could care less how their weight cut went, honestly.
Craziest DM or fan interaction you've had so far?
I am not famous, and I don't get DMs or really fan interactions. I have little kids come up to me sometimes that are like, "Oh, I loved your fight," and I've been recognized one time at Vasa, and I think that's it. I think maybe I've been recognized twice. I'm not very famous. I have 20 amateur kickboxing, or I have 18 amateur kickboxing fights. Nobody really cares about amateur kickboxing. So I gotta say that.
So with not a whole lot of fame, with not a whole lot of money, how do you stay disciplined and motivated during training camp when you don't necessarily know who you're fighting, and there's even rumors that the fight might be canceled? How do you stay motivated and disciplined?
Okay, well, staying disciplined is really it's a different question than motivated. I stay disciplined because I'm a martial artist, and I just feel best when I'm disciplined. When I'm undisciplined and I'm not training, I don't feel good. I feel best when I can go to bed at the end of the night, like knowing that I've worked as hard as anybody else in the world. Like I go to bed and I'm thinking, like, if I can make every day like this, I'll be the world champion. That's when I feel good. I don't feel tired or like beat up from that. That actually gives me energy. Being motivated is a different question, and I have a lot of different motivations. I don't get paid for my fights, really. That King of Sparta tournament was the only fight I've ever gotten paid for, and but I still fight a lot, and I love to fight. I fight for my legacy, a lot of it, and how should I say this? I think with everything on video nowadays, like the knockouts that I had in that King of Sparta tournament, and all my fights, the knockouts and my performances, I always think that I'm going to show that to my kids. They're going to be able to watch that. If I had a video of my great-great-grandfather like knocking somebody out unconscious like I did, that would be so cool. I'd watch that every day. So I could care less about like the money at the regional level. When I get higher level and they pay me real money, that will change my life a little more. But $1,000 here and there that's worth nothing. I'll spend that in a week. But that video will last forever, and the way I carry myself in the ring will also last forever.
That's really well said, Elie. Life is a battleground, and upon it we wage war. I want to ask this last question before I let you go. Actually, before I do you have any shout-outs, anyone you want to thank, any sponsors that you want to plug while we have you?
Your social media, if you want people to follow it.
Yeah, follow me on social media. It's Elie.Wise. It's my name. Not too many shout-outs. Team Elevation. Forge Fight Club. And Pound for Pound Muay Thai is where I train. All my friends, all my teammates, all my coaches. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming on, and I hope you had fun, because it was nice.
I did have fun.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you back again. And do you know if you have an upcoming fight or anything?
I do. I'm fighting June 22nd for the LFA.
Please plug away, buddy.
Yeah,
do you know who your opponent is?
Yeah, I'm fighting Andrew Peltier. He's a wrestler out of Victory MMA in Colorado Springs.
Where can people get tickets?
Y'all can get tickets on my Instagram bio, and also I'll be selling tickets. Well, you actually have to buy them online, but I'll have flyers out at the gym around campus.
You know, in talking to you, I think you have a very appropriate last name. Elie Wise, last
Thanks,
question.
sir.
What's the last random act of kindness that you experienced?
Probably just, I had a phone call with my mom a few days ago. She was very just supportive, always. Doesn't feel that random because she's my mom, but yeah, we had a good phone call. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, sir.
We'll see you again soon.